Hi everybody, this is Lisa, and it's time again for another Verbling English class. In this hour, we're going to be doing some reading. I've chosen two articles, one from the New York Times and another one, I'm not sure where the other one was from, I forgot, Business Insider maybe, but they are two intermediate level articles, and what's nice about the reading class is that even if you can't understand all of the words, which is a good thing, then you have something to learn, something new to understand, and I can help you understand the article because I'm going to be going over the vocabulary, different words that you may not understand, and also some phrases and things like that. So if you are interested in practicing your reading out loud, and also discussing the articles, then this will be a good class for you. It's going to be an hour long, and after this class I'm going to have a speaking class, and we're going to be playing a fun game where you get to practice making questions in English. It's called 20 questions. But this hour we're going to be reading. I already put the link up over here in the Verbling chat. It's a link to the Google document where I put the two articles just so that I can make them bigger and it's a little bit easier to read, and that way people who are taking the class in the Google Hangouts can read along, but also other people who are maybe just watching can read along as well. If you have a reservation, then you can go ahead and get your reservation by clicking on the blue button. It says get reservation, and if you do not have a reservation and you want one, you can still get one now if you are a premium member of Verbling. Premium membership is $25 per month, and what it allows you to do is reserve your spot in any Verbling class you'd like. The Verbling classes are free always, but only 9 people can be in the Google Hangout at the same time. So sometimes we have a lot of people who want to be in the class, but they can't get in because it's full. So if you want to be in the class, go ahead and click on the Join Class button. It should be a green button available now above the Verbling chat box. And once we have everybody settled in here, we'll say hi to everybody. We want to make sure, first of all, that your microphones are working and that you know how to mute yourself and unmute yourself. It's nice if you can mute yourself while you're not talking so that we won't hear any background noise. And then when it's your turn to read or to talk, just go ahead and click on your microphone and make it gray again. Then we'll be able to hear you. If it's red, we cannot hear you. Okay, so everybody can go ahead and click on the link that's in the Verbling chat. Looks like people are going there already. Looks like we have some people in the Google Hangouts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more is coming in. So I think we will be full, and if everybody stays the whole time, then this will be our group. Sometimes if you have a problem with your connection, you might drop out. You can try to get back in. Sometimes what happens is if you lose your spot because your connection failed, then somebody might click the Join Class button and join. Also, if you did not get into the class and you want to stick around and listen to us read, and you can participate still in the Verbling chat over here for you guys by asking questions and making comments as well. So hi to everybody who's in the Verbling chat and also here in the classroom. I'm going to just say hi to everybody and make sure that your microphone works. So when I say your name, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us your name, and also where you're from. And then we will get started with the reading. I'm going to start over here with Batiyar. Hi there, Batiyar. How are you?
Hello, teacher. I am fine, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And where are you from?
I am from Turkmenistan.
Okay. Great.
Great.
Wonderful. And Brasco, hi there.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you?
Thanks, and you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from Japan.
Okay, living in Japan. All right.
Yeah.
Hakim. Hi there, Hakim.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Hakim. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Hakim, where are you from?
From Algeria.
Algeria. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And Jose. Hi, Jose. How are you?
Fine, thank you, teacher.
Good. And tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Colombia.
Okay, great. And Juan. Hi, Juan.
Hi,
How are
I
you?
am from Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Wonderful. Welcome. And Conrad's here with us. Hi, Conrad.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I am
Yeah?
here in my hometown.
Your hometown. Okay. Well, tell everybody where that is.
Well, my hometown is in Helsinki, Finland.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. And your arm's doing better and better?
Yeah.
Good.
The doctor said me that.
Uh-huh.
Be
Good.
quiet in your bed.
To take a rest. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good.
Thanks for asking.
Sure, yeah. Marcos, how are you doing?
Hello,
Nice.
teacher.
Hi.
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Marcos, where do you live?
I am from Brazil.
From Brazil. I like your
Yeah.
picture. That's a funny dog. Yawning dog.
Yeah, I am dog.
Yeah. It's gonna make, if I look at it, I'm gonna start yawning. Okay. Selma, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you, teacher.
All right. Tell everybody where you are.
I am connecting from Algeria.
From Algeria. Wonderful. Two from Algeria. Okay. And Zinue. Zinu.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm the last person.
Yeah, you're on my far right. Sometimes I have a habit of starting on my left and going to my right. So I
I
have
love
to,
this.
yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
I have taken a few of your lessons.
Oh, yeah?
I like your accent.
Oh, good. Okay.
You are a good teacher.
Great.
You explain English very well.
Thank you.
I am waiting for a long time
Yeah?
for your teaching.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
You're very welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm from China.
Well, welcome. That's what time is it right now in China?
In China, it's time 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a nice day. Okay,
Thank you.
everybody. Yeah. So, my name is Lisa, and I live in Washington State in the United States. I don't live in the capital, which is actually Washington, D.C. Washington State is on the West Coast, so it's above the states of California and Oregon. So I'm American. That's why I have an American accent. Some of the Verbling teachers are from other countries, like Canada, and other people from England, and then we also have lots of American teachers who live in different countries around the world. So if you're not awake during my classes, because I only do them when I'm awake, then you can find other Verbling teachers, and they're all really great, and they do lots of fun stuff. But tonight, my time, it's 7 p.m. nighttime. We're going to do some reading. So I'm going to put the article on the screen share so that everybody will be able to see it if you're looking at my screen, and you can also open it with the link that I put in the Verbling chat if you want to look at it on your own. It's easier to see if you open it up for yourself. And the way we do the reading is I highlight it, and then I read, and then what happens is I ask you to read, and then we go through the vocabulary. So I might just pick words that I think might be a little bit difficult to understand, and make sure that you guys understand what those mean. Now, if I don't pick a word that you want to understand, then just make sure that you ask me, and I'll be happy to explain it and give you some examples if you want me to show you how we use it. But it's 2 articles, like I said, and the first article is from the New York Times, and it's on the environment, and it was just written yesterday, I think was the 25th, or maybe that was Thursday. And it's called Restaurants Vow to Stop Tossing Out So Much Food. So right there, I want to explain the title first. Restaurants vow. So when you vow to do something, that means you promise. That means you say you're going to do it for sure. So the restaurants are saying they're going to stop tossing out. Tossing out means throwing away. So as you can imagine, when you go to a restaurant, not everybody eats everything on their plates, so there's lots of food left over. And for the most part, restaurants just throw that food into the garbage, and then they have to get rid of it, of course. And so now they're trying to find new ways of getting rid of food. So let's read this. I'm going to read the first part here. Well, that's just the caption to the picture there. It just says Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg announced on Thursday an initiative to cut commercial food waste that goes to landfills. So this is the mayor right here. The picture of New York City is Bloomberg. He's a very wealthy man himself, businessman, but now he's the mayor of New York. And he basically said, announced means to tell people, to tell to the public that they're going to have an initiative. Initiative is something new that they're going to do, kind of like a, not really a law, but so it's like a program, a new program that they're going to do to cut commercial food waste that goes to landfill. Where in the United States we get rid of a lot of our garbage, we just pile it up and put it in the land. So it's not the best way to get rid of garbage. So now people who are interested in the environment are trying to find new ways. Okay, so who's going to read first? Why don't I start with the right? Okay, Jinyu. Jinyu? Why don't you read that part? Mayor Michael. Jinyu,
Which
is your...
one?
Yeah, right there. The one that I highlighted right here.
Mayor Michael.
Yep.
Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg announced on Thursday an initiative program to cut commercial food waste that goes to landfills.
Good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. Everything was right. Okay, the next time you bite into that pork bun at Momofuku or burrito at Chipotle, you can tell yourself that you are doing something for the environment. All right, some of these will be short, some of them will be longer. Selma, why don't you read that?
Okay, teacher. The next time you bite into the pork bun at Momofuku or burrito at Chipotle, you can tell yourself that you are doing something for the environment.
Good. Does everybody know what a pork bun is? Pork bun. It's a Momofuku is a Chinese restaurant, but pork buns are these type of Chinese buns. Sinyu, do you eat pork buns in China like these?
Oh, I often eat this.
Yeah.
It's very delicious.
Yeah, I love pork buns. My kids really like them too. So that's what a pork bun is. If you come to the United States, we have lots and lots of Chinese food restaurants, and you can often get pork buns, different types of pork buns, steamed or fried. And we also have lots of Mexican food restaurants, and at Mexican food, they have burritos. So that's what a burrito looks like, a bunch of meat and rice and beans in a tortilla. So those are very popular food items. So that you can tell yourself you're doing something good for the environment. Everybody probably knows the word environment. It's our Earth, our planet, how we take care of it. Includes the water, the air, the land, everything like that. Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg said on Thursday that more than 100 New York City restaurants, including haute cuisine temples like Le Bernardin and chains like Pret a Manger, have pledged to reduce the food waste they send to landfills by 50%. Okay, Marcos.
Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg said on Thursday that more than 100 New York City restaurants, including haute cuisine temples like Le Bernardin and chains like Pret a Manger, have pledged to reduce the food waste they send to landfills by 50%.
So, haute cuisine is actually a French term. It just means like gourmet cooking. So even the very high-end restaurants or expensive restaurants, like French. This is a French famous, very expensive restaurant. But also the chains. A chain store is like if you have a store in every city or lots of them in New York City, for example, Starbucks or McDonald's or Taco Bell. Those are called chains. They have pledged. Pledged means they promised. And what they're going to do is cut their food waste by 50%. So they're going to try to put half as much food to the landfills. They will accomplish this goal by composting and recycling, Mr. Bloomberg said in a speech during the New York Times Energy for Tomorrow conference at the Times Center. Okay, Conrad.
Okay. They will accomplish its goal by compositing and recycling, Mr. Bloomberg said in a speech during the New York Times Energy from Tomorrow conference at the Times Center.
Okay, great. So I'm going to answer a question that Paulo is asking in the Verbling chat. He wants to know if chains are equal to branches. Yes. So for example, if I have a store and then I want to make different branches of it. So for example, Starbucks started in Seattle, and as it got more popular, it's a coffee shop. As it got more popular, they started to branch out. That's called branching out. And so they created more Starbucks around Seattle, and then as they started more and more, then it becomes known as a chain, and it's a chain of branches. So yeah, branch is one of those stores or restaurants or shops or something. Okay? So they will accomplish. So accomplish means that they will achieve or be successful in this goal. So they will do it. They will make their goal by composting and recycling. So composting, people probably know usually gardeners do it or farmers, but it's basically like you put all your food waste into some kind of a bucket or a bin or something, and it changes over time into dirt that you can then put back and use in your garden or your soil. So this is what we call a composting bin. So you can just throw food in there. Usually you can't throw meat in there, but all kinds of vegetables, fruits, eggs, shells, cheese, things like that. and more cities are actually doing that. They're having people put their food so they can compost it. All right? Food wastes make up about a third of our city's total of more than 20,000 tons of daily refuse, the mayor said. Restaurants, he added, account for 70% of commercial food waste. Okay, Juan. Juan? Maybe your microphone is muted, Juan. Juan? Yeah, there you
Let
go.
me check.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Now I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Food wastes make up about a third of our city's total of more than 20,000 tons. Just give me a second, I lost the screen. 20,000 tons of daily refuse, the mayor said. Restaurants, he added, account for 70% of commercial food waste.
So that's a lot of daily. So every single day there's 20,000 tons of refuse, which is another word for trash or waste, stuff that you throw away. And that the majority of that stuff comes from commercial food waste. So whenever we talk about commercial, that's as compared to private. So commercial comes from businesses, so such as restaurants. Excuse me. Mr. Bloomberg told the audience that the conference's caterer, Cleaver Company, had also joined the challenge. I'm glad to report that any uneaten food today will be diverted away from the landfill, he said, before adding with a grin a reference to the conference cost. Okay, so I have those two there for Jose.
Yes, Mr. Bloomberg told the audience that the conference Cater Cleaver Company had also joined the challenger. I'm glad to report that any uneaten food today will be diverted away from the landfill, he said before adding with a grin a reference to the conference costs.
Yeah. Okay, so he told the audience, so the audience are the people that are listening to him give his speech. They're sitting out there in the audience, that the conference's caterer, the caterer are the people who make the food for the event. So caterers often make food for things like parties, weddings, conferences. Anytime you have a lot of people gathered together, you usually hire caterers to make the food. So they're also going to join the challenge. And that any uneaten food, so that's left on the plate, will be diverted. So it means it won't go to the landfill, it will go somewhere else. So whenever you divert something, you make it go to a different place. Okay, and a grin is just like a little smile. So he smiled when he said that. That's not to say you shouldn't eat. For $800, you should get a decent meal. Mr. Bloomberg made a related announcement on Wednesday. He said the city would expand a composting pilot program currently underway in Manhattan and Brooklyn schools to all schools in the next 2 years. Okay. So, Hakim?
Yeah.
You can read that.
That's not to say you shouldn't eat for $800. You should get a decent meal. Mr. Bloomberg made a related announcement on Wednesday. He said the city would expand a compositing pilot program currently underway in Manhattan and Brooklyn School to all schools in the next 2 years.
Yeah. So this was actually part of that last part. So he was kind of making fun. He was saying that you should still eat everything on your plate because they paid $800 to go to this conference. When we use the word bucks, we mean dollars. So that's how much people had paid to go to this conference, and that's a lot of money. So you should get a decent meal. A decent means and related, that means another announcement that's somehow has to do with this idea of composting food. So he's telling them that the city, so he's the mayor of the city, so the city government is expanding. They're making it larger. Their program, it's called a pilot program in English. Whenever we say we have a pilot program, it usually means a program that's small and you're just testing it out right now. It hasn't, you don't know if you're going to do it for everybody, so you test it with a group of people first, and that's called the pilot program. And so it's currently underway. Underway means it's happening. Program in Manhattan and Brooklyn, big areas in New York City, and they're doing them in the schools. So all the food that the kids are leaving, that they don't eat from school lunches, they're trying a program to try to compost that food. The program has reduced the amount of garbage the two boroughs schools send to landfills by 38%. On Thursday, Mr. Bloomberg also said that the city would convert 9 acres of underused city-owned land into community garden sites, which nonprofit and community groups can apply to manage. Okay, Brasco. Brasco, your microphone might be muted. I don't hear. Okay, there you are. Okay.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The program has reduced the amount of garbage that two boroughs schools send to landfills by 38%. On Thursday, Mr. Bloomberg also said that the city would convert 9 acres of underused city-owned land into community garden sites, which nonprofit and community groups can apply to manage.
Yes. Okay. So in New York City, what they have is what they call boroughs. They're actually like other smaller cities. I mean, they're not small, actually. There's millions of people there. But they're like kind of parts of. So when you say New York City, a lot of time people think it's you're talking about just Manhattan, but actually New York City is also made up of the other boroughs or neighborhoods or actual towns, and there are Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens. So if you hear those words, like if you're watching an American movie or something like that, that's all in the New York City area. If you go visit New York City, I'll put up here a map. Be visiting the main area, which is Manhattan. So if you're going to visit, you'll go to places like Times Square or Wall Street, or maybe you'll go to some of the museums. That's on Manhattan. But if you want to go out to the boroughs, then you might take a subway, and then you would go across, or if you were driving, you would take a bridge across, and you would go to some different areas. The subway takes you to all the different places like Queens or Brooklyn. If you want to go to Coney Island or somewhere different, that's where you go. But those places are more not so big for tourists. They're more where all the people live. So they're kind of like the neighborhoods where people are just living. There's lots of big apartment buildings in these different areas. some are safer than others, so you always want to know where you're going and how you're going to get there and that kind of thing. So if you're ever going to New York City, you can always just get a map and how to get around the city and the boroughs. So if you look at a map, something like this shows you the 5 boroughs of New York City. Okay? So it's really big. It's a lot of people. I'm not sure what the population is, but several million people doing this. So the last word here, let's see, convert. So when you convert something, it means you change it into something else. So right now they have 9 acres of land, and it's being underused. They're not using it at all probably, and it's just sitting there empty. And so they're going to change it into some garden sites. They're going to convert it. People and communities can apply to manage or be in charge of the little garden plots that they'll have on that acreage there. Okay, does anybody have any questions or any vocabulary that you wanted to go over for this article? Anybody? I have a question for you guys based on this article. I want to know, do you compost food in your house or in your country? Is that something that people are doing? So I'm going to start with Brasco. In Japan, is it very popular to compost food?
Oh, yes. Would you say that again, please?
I wrote it in the chat too. So the question basically is it popular for people to compost food in Japan? Like in your house, do you recycle or compost, or what do you do with your trash?
Actually, I don't do that.
Cycle? Brasco?
Oh, yes.
Do you recycle?
No.
No.
I don't do that.
Is it very popular in Japan or not very popular?
I'm afraid no.
No? Okay. Okay, some countries are more interested in that than other countries. So, hi, Eberval, you just joined us. Are you there, Eberval? Conrad, you throw it inside the landfill?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Eberval, what country are you from?
Brazil.
So in Brazil, do you compost food waste or do you recycle?
Yes, it's very popular recycle trash in Brazil.
Okay, like plastic maybe or glass, paper?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Jose, how about you? Do you recycle or compost?
I'm recycle maybe plastic bottles.
Plastic bottles, yeah. Juan, how about you?
The same plastic bottles. I take them in different boxes or bags. Everything that is plastic or any other material.
Yeah.
Like how do you say glass?
Glass.
And the other material, the
like newspapers, cardboard.
Cardboard. Yeah.
Yeah, like boxes are made of cardboard. You can break them down and recycle. Yeah. Okay. Conrad.
Yeah.
What is recycling pretty popular in Finland?
Yeah. The people is very aware of the necessity for our environment, and each family must to divide the rubbish in three containers: plastic, papers, glass, and that's it's an obligation. On the positive, the municipality give you any molestation or complaint against you.
Oh, okay, good. So it's pretty important then for people to know how to do it. Yeah.
For example, the bag isn't made by plastic.
Yeah.
It's recycled material is using all the time here. People is so aware. It's important to live in harmony with the environment.
Yeah, great. And Rodrigo, you joined us.
Hi, teacher.
Hi. Where do you live, Rodrigo?
I'm from Argentina.
And so in Argentina, do you recycle or compost?
Yes. Plastic bottles.
Yeah.
Cool. There are so many bags to recollect.
Yeah.
Plastic bottles.
Okay. Selma, what about in Algeria?
In my house?
Asking Selma now. Selma?
Yes, teacher. Well, in my country, we do not compost because we barely find food.
Oh no.
Yes, you know the situation in Africa.
Yeah. So you don't have any waste, food waste.
No, at all.
Yeah.
We finish all what is on our plate.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
But we do recycle. We recycle the plastic, plastics, and also the
batteries. Yep.
Batteries. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
great. Thanks. And Xinyu, how about in China? Do you compost or recycle?
Teacher,
yes.
You know, China is famous for its delicious food, but most of Chinese people waste food. They seldom do this. I think your advice is great. I will recommend your advice to my government. They should take some measures to protect the environment.
Yes. Yeah. We all have to pitch. We all have to pitch in. It was called. Pitch in means to help out and do what we can to make sure that where we live is still safe and clean and not being destroyed, basically. Okay, great, you guys. So I have another article that we have time to read. I'm going to put it down there.
Oh, sir.
It's about yes?
Oh, teacher.
Yes?
Can you explain pitch in again?
Pitch in? Yes. When you pitch in, it means you help. So if I say, hey, Xinyu, will you pitch in today in the garden? That means will you help us in the garden? So to pitch in means to help.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So if I say I'm gonna. Okay, when I write, it mutes me, so I can't talk. We all have to pitch in to save the environment. That means we all have to do something to help make sure that our environment stays clean, or we clean it up if it's dirty. Okay? All right, this next article is about Mark Zuckerberg, who is one of the founders of Facebook, and it's called Mark Zuckerberg Joins the $1 Salary Club. So let's figure out what that's about. $1 salary is how much you get paid for your job usually every month, your monthly salary. So he's going to $1 per month is what it says here. Let's read. Facebook confirmed in a filing that Mark Zuckerberg, the social network's founder and CEO, is making a salary of $1 this year, and for the whole year, is making a salary of $1 this year and foregoing any bonuses as well. Okay, let's start with Xinyu. Somebody has some music playing in the background.
Some music.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
some music.
Who has the music going? Is that you, Xinyu?
Please mute that person. No, no, no.
Okay. Okay, so go
Oh,
ahead. Maybe
no,
it was.
no music.
Yeah.
Facebook confirmed in the filing that Mark Zuckerberg, the social network's founder and CEO, is making a salary of $1 this year and foregoing any bonuses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sir, I
Yeah.
have some questions.
Okay.
I don't know two words.
Okay.
What is billing? What is bonuses?
Okay. So let me go over a couple words here. So Facebook confirmed means they agreed. Like somebody asked them and they said yes. So they confirmed. So we know that in a filing. So that's probably a tax filing actually. So that's when you file a piece saying what's going to happen in terms of income or finances. So they confirmed, they said yes, it's true that Mark Zuckerberg is going to make a salary of only $1 this year and foregoing, so that means he's not going to have. So when you forego something, it means you're not going to get it. So bonuses. So usually when you're the president or the CEO or something, or even if you're an employee, sometimes you get bonuses. So that's like extra stuff. Sometimes it can be gifts from the, sometimes it can be like food, any kind of extra besides what they pay you. It's like beyond that. So a lot of times you'll hear about, especially big American companies, their CEOs, they make a lot of money, but then they also make more money because they get bonuses. So it's like extra. All right? So he's not going to get any of that.
Sir.
Yes. Yeah?
Sir, you have done a good job. When
Thank
you explain the word I don't know, I like you put before that. I like you put explanation after that word.
Okay, great. Good. I'm glad it helps you. So he says,
You
but
do this so that everyone can see that.
yes, that's why I'm doing it. Okay, but he's not exactly taking a vow of poverty. When Facebook went public last year, Zuckerberg exercised 60 million stock options, then worth nearly $2.3 billion, buying those shares for next to nothing. He sold half of the stock to cover his tax bill. Okay, so he's not poor, basically. Okay, let's see. Selma, go ahead and read, please.
Okay, teacher. But he is not exactly taking a vow of poverty. When Facebook went public last year, Zuckerberg exercised 60 million stock options, then worth nearly $2.3 billion, buying those shares for next to nothing. He sold half of the stock to cover his tax bill, and he's still sitting.
That's all. Hold on. Okay, so I will explain some things. So he's not exactly. That's a phrase that we use when we want to kind of be sarcastic or something like, that's not exactly true. You could say something like that. So he's not, it means he's not really taking a vow of poverty. That's another kind of expression that we use. It's meaning a lot of times, for example, if a person becomes a monk or a nun and they are going to not have any stuff anymore, that is when they take a vow of poverty. So he's not going to do that because he's obviously a very wealthy man, a very rich man because of Facebook, because it went public. When we say it went public, that means now the company is no longer a private company. Now it is owned by shareholders, and the shares are sold on the stock market. So like Wall Street, people pay money per stock, for example. So he had a lot of the stock, 60 million stock options, and they were nearly $2.3 billion. So the stocks are called shares. One of the stocks is called a share. So if you're interested in trying to make money in the stock market, you buy shares. So I don't know how much a Facebook share is right now, but it goes up and down every day. So for example, on Friday it closed at $26.85. So you can imagine if he had 60 million of those, that would be 60 million times 26, almost $27. So that's a lot of money. Okay. And he's still sitting on another 60 million stock options that can be exercised on November 7th, 2015 for the same dirt cheap price of 6 cents. So he made a lot of money because, as you can see, he paid 6 cents for his 60 million shares, and now each is $27 times 60. You can figure that out. That's how much money he made. 6 cents. He's made almost basically $27 because that's a lot of money. All right, so let's see who's going to read now. Rodrigo?
Yes.
Can you read that part right there that I highlighted? And he's still sitting on?
Okay. And he's still sitting on another 60 million stock options that can be exercised on November 7, 2015 for the same dirt cheap price of 6 cents.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of things in this one little sentence here, actually. He's still sitting on. So when we talk about sitting on something, of course, it could be like you're sitting on a chair, but the phrase has another meaning, and that means he's holding. A lot of times you might say it about money, like he's sitting on $500,000. That means he has $500,000. So you're holding on to it, or you stock options. So the options, he has the stocks and he can have the option to sell them, and he can exercise this option, which means he can to exercise an option means to actually sell it. So he can sell those stocks and make all this money because he bought the stocks for what we call a dirt cheap price. So describe something as dirt cheap. It's very, 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 very cheap. It's just like the lowest price you can imagine. So, for example, somebody might say to you, "Oh, I got this new computer dirt cheap." That means they probably only paid a very small amount of money. You can just use that to describe anything that you barely paid any money for. You got a new car dirt cheap, or you got a new t-shirt dirt cheap, or you bought a new phone dirt cheap. So it's a very low price. All of those shares give Zuckerberg plenty of incentive to keep Facebook in good financial health, although he is on record saying, "We don't wake up in the morning with the primary goal of making money." And isn't it really beholden to shareholders since he controls a majority of proxy votes? Okay, Conrad.
Okay. All of the shares give Zuckerberg plenty of initiative to keep Facebook in good financial health. I thought he is some record saying we don't wake up in the morning with the primary goal of making money. And isn't really beholden to shareholders since he controls a majority of proxies votes.
So here's a little bit of financial terminology. So because he has so many shares, the idea here is he wants to make sure that Facebook stays valuable because 2015 is still a couple of years away, and if Facebook all of a sudden is not a very great company and people do not want to invest in it, then instead of $27 per share, maybe the price would go down to something like $10 per share or even $5 per share, which means he would lose lots of money. So he obviously has what we call an incentive. It means if you have an incentive, it's something that makes you want to do something else. So that is his incentive to keep Facebook running and being in good financial health. Although he is on record, that is a term or a phrase that just means like he's said it officially, so that means he's probably told somebody in an interview and they wrote it up in the New York Times, or maybe he told somebody who interviewed him on television. And so he's on record saying that they don't wake up in the morning with the primary goal, that's not really their main reason why they're doing Facebook, is to make money. But he knows, and this author says, but he isn't really beholden to shareholders. That means he doesn't really have to listen to the shareholders because he controls a majority of the proxy votes. So in a public business, when you have a lot of shares, you have more control of how the company is going to be run. So he doesn't really have to listen to, like if I have Facebook shares, which I don't, but if I did, maybe I would have 100 or something like that, or 200, but he has 60 million. So that's a lot more. So he has a lot more say. The $1 salary is symbolic. Companies have to compensate all of their employees, so working for free is out of the question. And doesn't $1 sound better anyway? Since the first dot-com boom, getting paid $1 has become something of a tradition among extremely wealthy executives whose compensation instead comes in the form of stock. Okay, Jose?
Yes, teacher. The $1 salary is symbolic. Companies have to compensate all of their employees, so working for free is out of the question. Doesn't one sound better anyway? Since the first dot-com boom, getting paid $1 has become something of a tradition among extremely wealthy executives whose compensation instead comes in the form of stock.
So it's symbolic. So it stands for something. So they're basically just saying that companies have to compensate. They have to pay all of their employees. You cannot work for free for a company. Even if somebody wants to, they can't. You can volunteer for a non-profit organization, but you cannot work for free for a business, for a company that makes money like that. So that is out of the question. That's a phrase or an expression that means you can't even talk about it, you can't think about it, it's just not possible. So if something is out of the question, to do. So you cannot work for free. So doesn't $1 sound better? That means like that's kind of nice. He's only making $1, but of course he's making all his money from basically saying a boom. The .com boom means when everybody's doing really well, making a lot of money. Lots of businesses are starting up. That's a boom. When everything is going really well financially, that's a boom. It's become something of a tradition. Tradition is something that's been going on for a long time. Some countries have lots of different traditions around various cultural things, and extremely. So it's not just a little bit wealthy. So extremely is very, very much whatever, wealthy in this case. And the executives are the people who run the businesses, and the compensation is their pay, but instead of getting a salary, they're getting it in the form of stocks. So if you own 60 million times $27, you can imagine, you can do the math if you have a calculator on your computer, figure out how much he is going to be getting. Steve Jobs famously took a $1 salary from the time he returned to Apple as CEO in 1998. He didn't take any stock grants after 2003 either. In 2005, Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, along with then CEO Eric Schmidt, all reduced their salaries to $1. Okay, Edinson? Hi there.
Hey, teacher. I heard you.
Great. You want to read?
Okay. Steve Jobs famously took one salary from the time he returned to Apple as CEO in 1998. He didn't take an stock grants after 2003. Later in 2005, Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, along with then CEO Eric Schmidt, all reduced their salaries to $1.
Yep. Famously, so that means it just became like a very, a lot of people knew about it, and it became like a famous thing to do. So probably you guys know who Steve Jobs is. He was one of the founders of Apple, and then he left, but then he came back as CEO, and he didn't take any stock grants either. So a lot of times, instead of paying like the people money, they give them more stock, which obviously is worth a lot. It can be worth a lot of money, but it can also go up and down in the stock market. And so these guys that founded Google also did the same thing. To reduce means to lower, so they lowered their salaries to only $1. Schmidt, now executive chairman, takes a salary of several million dollars these days. Page, now CEO, and Brin still make $1. Okay, Eberbal.
Smith now executive chairman.
Yeah, executive chairman.
Chairman. Tá, ok. This chairman takes a salary of several $1 million these days. Page, now CEO, and Brian still make $1. Other tech.
Keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going. You can keep reading.
Okay. Other tech COS who belongs to the One Salary Club include Oracle, Larry Ellison, Tesla, Elon Musk, Zingas, Mark Pincus, and HP's Meg Whitman.
Yeah. So basically, all of these other tech CEOs, they also belong to this club, they say. So those are just lots of different tech companies. Yahoo's Yang was making $1 before he was ousted, so fired as CEO last year. Outside of Silicon Valley, CEOs of American companies who made $1 in salary last year include Capital One, and I'm not going to read all these, but Capital One, Urban Outfitters, all those other ones. And then I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to have, we only have 1 minute left. So, Brasco, you want to read this last part here? Among the $1 salary club? You can read
Sure.
that? Okay, go ahead.
Would you tell me where?
Right here. Among the $1 salary club?
Okay.
Yeah.
Among the $1 salary club, only Carso,
Yeah, Carsotis. Mm-hmm.
the watchmaker's longtime leader, actually made nothing in 2012, according to a Bloomberg analysis of proxy filings. He owns 11% of the company, but he didn't receive any additional stock or stock options last year. Mr. Katsotis is one of the initial investors in our company and expressed his belief that his primary compensation is met by continuing to drive stock price growth. The company said continuing to drive stock price growth.
Yeah.
The company said
What happened? Okay.
price growth.
Yeah, you have somebody has the thing on. So that's, I'm going to read the rest because we're already going over time. That's generally how $1 salaries are explained, but sometimes they come in the form of punishment or self-flagellation. That means hitting. When Lee Iacocca was brought in to save Chrysler from bankruptcy in 1978, he took a $1 salary as a publicity stunt. So marketing, more people to know about him. Vikram Pandit's salary was reduced to $1 in 2010 as Citigroup struggled to recover from the financial crisis, and executive compensation packages on Wall Street were facing intense public criticism. Fired 2 years later. Zuckerberg's $1 salary for 2013 was first revealed in Facebook's IPO filing, but the proxy filing yesterday confirmed the amount and added that he won't receive any bonus either. It also revealed that Zuckerberg received a $266,101 bonus last year in addition to his $500,000 base salary. He also gets to use Facebook's private planes. Professional trips don't count as compensation, but his personal trips on Air Facebook last year cost more than $1.2 million. So, there you go. These guys have a lot of money and a lot of benefits, so $1 is just kind of a symbol. They're basically still making money through their stocks. So, hey guys, I have to go teach my speaking class now. So I want to just say thank you to everybody who came and read. You guys did a good job. Yeah, tell me real quick.
I have a last question.
Yes, tell me.
I have a last question. Could you put the document link on the chat box?
Yes. Into the Verbling chat? Yeah. I'll put it in the Google chat too. Okay, so if you guys want to play my 20 questions game, it's a fun game. You can come and join the next class, or maybe I'll see you in another class sometimes. Thanks for coming to class.
The next class, see you.
Thanks for reading.
Thank you.
Thanks.